Hello everyone and welcome to this week's live session. That's not a good start, I can't even speak. Okay, so welcome to today's session. Today what we're going to do is we're going to focus on writing task 2. This is the most, the part of the test that I get the most questions about, and probably the number one question I get is I'm stuck on a 6 or a 6.5 and I need a 7. So most of the people that I help need 7 or 8, something like that. We obviously have the free website for everyone else, but most of the people that I help on a one-to-one basis are people that need to get to that higher level. And a lot of people have done the test 6, 7, 8 times and got 6 or 6.5 every single time, and they really don't know what to do. They feel a bit lost, and what they just need is for someone to tell them exactly what they're doing wrong and exactly what to do in order to get to that level. So what we have done today is I've created a lesson for you of the 7 differences between a band 6 and a band 7 essay, and we're going to look at the official marking criteria because it's the only thing that you should worry about. There are so many different teachers and different books and different websites, but if they don't agree with what the official IELTS marking criteria says, then don't worry about it. The only thing that you should worry about is the piece of paper that the examiners use to mark your task 2 essay, and everything else doesn't really matter. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So before we start, can you just let me know that you can hear me, that you can see me, and maybe tell me where you're from. It's always good to see all the different nationalities and all the different countries where people watch these live lessons. We have 128 people watching live, so hello to the 128 people. Just let me know that you can hear me, see me, where you're from, and then we will get right into it. Also, at the end of this lesson, I'm going to give you access to a course for free. Not my big VIP course, because it's $500 and I can't give that away to hundreds of people for free. But we have a little mini course that we're going to give you away for free during this lesson. We also have some ebooks, some PDFs, lots of good stuff if you stick with us until the end. Also, if you're watching the replay, hello to the people in the future watching the replay. If you stick until the end, you'll also be able to get the free course and everything. I'll show you exactly what to do. Apologies that behind me is a little bit messy and everything. We just moved into our new offices. This is our new office this week, and I still haven't got it set up all nice for you. So let me see where people are from. So we have people from London, Vietnam, Egypt, Nepal, Kazakhstan, China, Brazil. Wow, basically everywhere in the world. So let's get going. Let's start. Because you probably just want to get the stuff done rather than listening and looking at my face. Okay, so what are we going to do today? First of all, we're going to look at the official marking criteria. Then we're going to look at the 7 differences and how you can use them. So the 7 differences between band 6 and band 7 essays, and how you can use them in a practical way. So I'm not just going to talk about high level theory or anything like that. I'm going to give you very, very practical steps that you can take away at the end of this lesson and improve your writing. You're not going to be able to to leave this lesson and immediately start writing a band 7 essay, but the advice in this lesson will help you do that if you take it away and you implement it and you practice using it. And we're also going to look at the free course at the end of this lesson, and we also have free ebooks and PDFs and everything for you guys. Okay, so one thing that I hear a lot about IELTS writing, especially task 2, is it's not fair. So this is one of the main complaints I hear about IELTS writing. So I have over 250,000 people on my Facebook page and thousands of people in Facebook groups and everything. So I'm talking to students every single day about this test, and this is what a lot of people say. People complain that the test is not fair and they have no idea what to do, and that is totally understandable. When I first started teaching IELTS, I didn't know really what to do or have any clue what I was talking about. It is a very, very complex topic, and it requires a lot of reading and a lot of consuming information before you really know what you're doing. If only IELTS would tell us exactly how to get the score we need. So this is something that a lot of the students that I talk to say. Well, they do. Alright, here it is. So this is the public version, so you'll see at the top, public version of the writing band descriptors for task 2. There's different ones for task 1, and there's public and private ones. So the private ones are the ones that the examiners will be using, but don't think that it's some sort of conspiracy and the private ones are very different to these ones. They're not really. There's a few small things, but all in all, on the whole, they are very, very similar to these ones. And it tells us exactly what to do. So what a band 9 essay is, what a band 8 essay looks like, what a band 7 essay looks like, and a band 6 essay looks like. So I'm not going to just talk about these for the rest of the lesson, because a lot of the language that they use is confusing and people don't really know what it means. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the difference between band 6 and band 7, and what I've done is I have 7 main differences, and I'm going to talk about it in language. Sorry about the bus outside. Our new office is right beside the main street of my local town. We're going to talk about it in language that is easy to understand for you guys and show you examples so that it's just easy for you to consume and to understand. Okay, so number 1, so we have 7 main differences. So the first main difference is number 1 addresses all parts of the task. Just let me check the comments to make sure that nothing is wrong or anything like that. Okay, thank you. Okay, all good. A lot of you are asking questions. That's great. Continue to ask questions if you want, but remember that I'm teaching at the moment and it is impossible to read questions, teach, answer questions, focus all at the same time. So I won't be reading your questions, but I will spend time at the end doing like a Q&A. So if you have any questions, just wait until the end. Okay, so above all else, you must answer the question. So it doesn't matter how good your grammar is, it doesn't matter how good your vocabulary is, it doesn't matter how amazing a structure is that some amazing teacher has given you, it doesn't matter how good, how amazing you are at writing. If you don't answer the question, you're not going to get a high score. It is as simple as that. And I've dealt with so many students who have very good grammar, very good vocabulary. I've taught them and they have said to me, why did I not get the score that I needed? And then I look at their essay and they just haven't answered the question. So what does answering the question actually mean? You must cover all parts of the question and do what the question tells you to do. Let's look at an example. So a lot of this language and a lot of these things might be difficult for some people to understand, so examples will help us. So here is a question. One of my VIP students in our Facebook group, they did this question last weekend in Dublin. So this is a real question that they reported, and it says, some people believe that the best way to combat climate change is for developed countries to reduce their carbon dioxide production. Others say that alternative measures are more appropriate. Discuss both views and give your opinion. So the first thing you need to do is you need to discuss the first view. Let me see if this pen is working. Okay, so here is the first view. Sorry, this is not very tidy or nice looking, but there we go. So this is the first view. So you must discuss this. You must say why people think this. Next thing you must do, you must discuss the second view. So you must discuss this. And you must give your opinion. Okay, so there's a number of different ways that you could do that. I'm not going to get into the structure and all that, because that's 1 hour lesson in itself. But unless you do those 3 things, you haven't answered the question. And it's even more complicated than that. Alright, so you have to talk about the best way to combat climate change. You can't talk about air pollution. You can't talk about what else? Just environmental things in general. You must specifically talk about climate change. And you must talk about developed countries reducing their carbon dioxide. So you can't talk about carbon monoxide or other greenhouse gases that I don't know the name of. So you have to talk about developed countries. So these are countries like the United States, Canada, UK, Western Europe, Australia. You must talk about them. And you must also talk about alternative measures. Alright, so you can't just talk about environmental stuff in general. You must specifically address the things in that question, and you must specifically do that. You must specifically do those three things. And this is going to be different for all the different types of questions. So you have agree or disagree questions, you have advantages and disadvantages questions, cause and effect questions, problem solution questions, cause and solution questions, double questions, many different types of questions, and you have to do exactly what they say. So that's the first thing that you have to do. Number 2, you must have a clear position throughout your essay. Alright, have I spelled position wrong? I think I have. Oh well, there you go. Everybody, or I can fix it now. Let me see. Discard. There you go. Even I make mistakes. Alright, so your position should be very clear throughout the whole essay. It should be easy for the examiner to know where you stand on a particular issue. Let's look at an example. So here's another, I think this was about 2 weeks ago in India, I think. And this question was reported again by one of our students. And this question said, some animal species are now completely extinct. Many people believe that we should prevent this from happening in the... What? My God. I'm sorry. Oh, it was there. Something is wrong with the formatting or something like that. Let me see. Okay, it was correct. Sorry, I'm going crazy. Sorry. Alright, so they stated this question. So your position must be very clear throughout. So what you think must be clear throughout the whole essay. In other words, the reader should clearly know if you agree or disagree. Alright, so in this particular question, your position, what you think about this question, is going to be I agree or I disagree. Alright, so the examiner should be able to look at your essay, read it once. If you're wanting to get one of the higher bands, read it once or maybe twice, and it should be very clear to them whether you agree or whether you disagree. Alright? If you write one of the, like an agree or disagree essay where you say like, oh, some people agree and some people disagree, and you don't take any position whatsoever, you don't say what you actually think, then your position isn't going to be very clear, and you're not going to get one of the higher bands. Okay, so please make sure if you're doing an agree or disagree question, the simple thing to do is just say I agree or I disagree. Alright, there are many other ways to do it, but the easiest way to do it and the most effective way to do it is just to take a position and make it clear throughout the essay. Make it clear in your main body, make it clear in your introduction, make it clear in your conclusion what you think about that. And again, we could go in much more detail about this, but again, that is an hour lesson on its own. So number 3, you have well-developed ideas. You should not have a list of ideas. Instead, each idea should be developed with explanations and examples. Let's look at an example. Alright, so an explanation is just explaining why you believe that or why that thing is, giving extra detail to help support your main idea, and examples are just examples. So here's another question. I think this was reported 3 weeks ago in Sydney. Nowadays, managers and team leaders in different organizations are much younger compared to the past. What are the reasons for this? Is it a positive or negative development? So the main reason for this is, would be a bad idea. So if you had a main body paragraph and it just looked like this, the main reason for this is this reason, and this reason. I see main body paragraphs with 3, 4, 5 ideas in them. It would be much, much better if you had well-developed ideas instead of a list. I call it like a shopping list of ideas in your main body paragraph. So in this essay, what are the reasons for this? It would be better if you had 1, maximum 2 ideas, and you develop those ideas with explanations and examples. Because if you don't develop your ideas, it's not really an academic essay at all. It's just a list of ideas. There's a huge difference between an essay that just has, 10 ideas in it. That is not an academic essay. And an essay that has 2 ideas in it, and those 2 ideas are fully developed. Alright? And that's a big difference between Band 6 and Band 7, 8, 9 essays. Okay, let me check the comments to make sure there's no big problems or anything like that. Let me know if everything is okay. Hello to everybody saying hello, by the way. I can't say hello to all of you. And let's keep on going. Okay, so number 4, uses cohesive devices effectively. Cohesive devices are words like however, moreover, therefore. They're sometimes called linking words. Or sometimes called linkers, but the official term is cohesive devices, and there are many, many, many of them. Take a look at any academic textbook or academic journal and count how many cohesive devices they actually use. So this is, in some countries that I've taught in, this is more a problem than others, but some countries, and I'm not going to name which countries, but it seems that a lot of people think that the only thing you need to do in order to get a Band 7 or a Band 8 or a Band 9 is just use as many cohesive devices as possible. Like every sentence has 2 or 3 cohesive devices. So if you look at how a real English textbook or a real English academic journal, how often they use these, it's not that many. So I just went and looked at one of my textbooks that I have around the house, and I took a picture of this, and this is what I have. So this is quite typical of academic writing. I just picked it at random, and I could only really see, so how many cohesive devices can you see? So I'm not going to go through it all because that's pretty boring, but I can only really see 1. And let me see if there are any others. Okay, so at a quick glance, we have 1. If you gave a typical IELTS student an essay and it only had 1 cohesive device in it, they would immediately say that's a bad essay. There's nothing. The person did not use enough linking words, so they're not going to get a high score. Well, it is fine to use these, but they must be appropriate and accurate. There is no point in using not just cohesive devices, but any words, any phrases, if you don't know how to use them. You do not get extra marks for using complex cohesive devices or using them in every sentence. So a lot of people think that the examiner is like counting how many cohesive devices you have and like giving you a point or points for each of them, and then giving you extra points if you use like really complex ones. That's not the case, okay? If you actually look at Band 9 essays, they actually have fewer cohesive devices than Band 6, Band 7 essays. So the key really is using them appropriately and using them accurately. If you are saying, using moreover is used to give an additional point, and you're actually contrasting something, then that is not using it accurately. If you're putting moreover or however, and it's just you don't really need it in there, then it's not appropriate. Google cohesive devices for a free PDF guide from my site. So if you Google cohesive devices, the number 1 on Google should be my website, IELTS Advantage, and there's a PDF with all of, I think there's about 25 or 30 cohesive devices there. Now, do not think that all you have to do is just memorize a big long list of these linking words. It is much better. So I've divided the PDF into categories, like adding points, contrasting, exemplification, things like that. It's much better to learn one or two simple ones effectively for each of those categories and then use them effectively in your essay than it is to spend, days learning lists of every single cohesive device in the English language. So make sure you use these appropriately and effectively. Number 5, effective use of paragraphs. Now, I'm not talking about paragraphing. I'm not talking about spaces between paragraphs or that sort of thing. That's a bit too basic. I'm talking about you should know how to write an introduction, 2 main body paragraphs, and a conclusion. You should know what to include in each of these. So many of you just simply do not know what is included in an introduction or a conclusion. Many of you do not know how to construct a main body paragraph. Like I see a lot of people with introductions, for example, like putting in quotes at the start or asking questions at the start of the introduction or giving like really vague background statements and things like that. Like those are just not appropriate and you're completely wasting your time. Someone who is getting a 7 or an 8 or a 9, they know exactly what to do, exactly what is included in a good introduction, a good main body paragraph, and a conclusion. They know the building blocks of those types of paragraphs, and they know the difference between the different types of questions. So agree or disagree, discuss both views, problem solution, causes and solution, advantages, disadvantages are going to be slightly different for all of these different questions for these different types of paragraphs. So you need to know how to do those. More information about this in our free course. So I'm going to give you a free course at the end of this lesson, and it will show you, we have like a 45-minute lesson on introductions, 45-minute lesson on main bodies, paragraphs, 45-minute lesson on conclusions. It'll show you exactly what to do. Okay, so effective use of vocabulary. So this is number 6. So we must consider 2 things when we're thinking about vocabulary. We must think about range and we must think about accuracy. Most students are very concerned about the first one, range, and not concerned at all about the second. So what I see with most students is they are obsessed with using complex, academic, high-level vocabulary and never repeating any words and showing the examiner how amazing their vocabulary is. If you are at a very high level of English, that will be great, but most of you aren't. And most of you are not able to use that kind of vocabulary, and what happens is you make lots and lots and lots of mistakes. You make mistakes with meaning, you make mistakes with spelling, you make mistakes with collocations, make mistakes with use, everything. And your essay turns into a complete mess. So let's think about, so I got this from the British Council website, and on the left here are all the IELTS scores, so from 9 down to 4. Let's hope none of you get below a 4. I've never had a student who got below a 4, but you never know. And then we have the CEFR, the Common European Framework. And so for C2 is the top level, then we have C1, then we have B2, and then we have B1. Okay, so B1, if you're a B1 level, you should be getting around a 4, 4.5, something like that. B2 level, you'll be getting 5, 6, something like that. C1 level, you'll be getting 6.5 to 7.5, and C2, you'll be getting 8 to 9, something like that. Well, in theory. Some people do, some people don't, but in theory, that's where you should be going. So, a lot of you are attempting to use language that you think, and the key word there is think, is like C2 level. You're trying to use like band 9 to band 8 level vocabulary, words and phrases, and failing miserably most of the time. And most of you are really, you just need between 6.5 and 7.5, so you should just be using the vocabulary that you're comfortable using. And this doesn't mean that you only use C1 vocabulary, and you're not allowed to use any of that. So let's look at some words that are C1 level, and let's look at words that are B2 level. Okay, so have a look at the words on the left and have a look at the words on the right. All right, one group of words is C1 level. So if we go back here, is like a 6.5 to 7.5 level, and some of those words are like a B2 level, so 6 to 5. Which one do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think the ones on the left are a higher level, or do you think the ones on the right are a higher level? Let me know what you think. And then I'll reveal to you, I'll show you exactly what they are. Okay, a lot of you are asking questions and everything. That's great, but I can't answer your questions in the middle of a lesson. But just let me know which ones are higher level. Do you think the ones on the right are higher level, or do you think the ones on the left are higher level? So most of you think the right. We have one person who thinks it's the left. But 90% of you think it is the higher level words are the ones on the right. That's interesting. That's what I expected you to say. So, C1, the ones on the left are higher than the ones on the right. Alright, so I wasn't trying to trick you or anything, well, maybe a little bit, but what I'm trying to explain to you is people just see words that are, that are long. So they think, right, destruction, it's like a 3-syllable word, this is a very long word, this is a very long word, and then they look at words here and they say, oh, 3 letters, hence, that's a very common word, that's not very advanced. So the point that I'm trying to make to you is most students have no idea what words are actually high level and what words are low level. Alright? Most students think that it's a good idea to learn a list of words that their teacher gives them that are all like, 13 letter words, and all they have to do is just use these big long words and then everything will be fine. Well, in actual fact, it won't. So for a complete guide to how to improve your vocabulary, go to IELTSadvantage.com, and at the bottom you'll find my vocabulary improvement plan, my ebook. It's completely free. You can download it immediately. So do not learn long lists of complex words. Alright? So learning lists of complex words in inverted commas, because they're not actually complex, you have no idea whether these words are complex or not. And you also do not know how to use them properly in a sentence. You don't know the meaning effectively, you don't know how the grammar, you don't know how to use them at all. Only use words and phrases you are 100% sure about. Have faith in your current range and work on improving it all the time. So what I say, the first thing that I say to my VIP students, and this is not complex, it's not sexy, it doesn't sound very good at all. It's not going to sell any courses for me, because it's not, it's the simplest thing you could ever say to a student is, when they come into my course, is just use vocabulary that you're 100% sure about. And it takes some students a very, very long time to understand that advice. But until they understand that advice, they normally struggle to get the score they need. When they start using the vocabulary that they have, that they're comfortable using in an essay, instead of trying to use vocabulary that is way above their level, then you're going to struggle until you get to that stage. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't improve your vocabulary, but you should improve it effectively. You should be learning words 100%. Meaning, collocations, synonyms, antonyms, even pronunciation, so you can use it in the speaking test, spelling, absolutely everything about that word, and before you can learn it. Lists of words are not going to help you. Okay, the last one today is grammar. So accurate use of grammar. Like vocabulary, many students focus on using complex tenses, structures, and sentences. So ask most students, how do you get a good score in grammar? They'll say things like write very long complex sentences, use lots of tenses, use very complex grammar structures, and you'll get the score that you need. So kind of like vocabulary, using really, really high level words and using really complex grammar structures and sentences would be a bit like me trying to run a marathon. I'm a fat guy who hasn't ran more than 100 meters in about 10 years. Alright, there is absolutely no way that I could run a marathon. I would die. This is kind of like what most people are like when they're trying to use really, really complex grammar and vocabulary in the IELTS test. And the thing is, you do not need to use really complex structures to get a 7. Most people do not focus on the most important thing, which is accuracy. The thing that the examiner is going to be doing is they're going to be noting your grammar mistakes. And believe me, most students, because I correct essays every day, I've corrected thousands of essays, you all have small grammar mistakes in them. If you make lots of grammar mistakes, you won't be able to get a high score. It's as simple as that. So if every single one of your sentences, and this is true for most students, have 2, 3, 4, 5 grammar mistakes in every sentence, you're not going to be getting a 7. Until you fix your accuracy, until you fix those grammar mistakes, forget about getting one of the higher scores. So here's how to improve your grammar in a very, very simple way. Get a good teacher to check samples of your writing. So do a task 2, do task 1 under exam conditions. Give it to a good teacher. It doesn't have to be me. You all probably have teachers in your area that you can do this with. They will tell you what your common grammar errors are. So say to your teacher, can you tell me what my 3 to 4 most common grammar problems are? And they'll say things like articles, prepositions, tenses, things like that. Work on these common grammar errors. Alright, it's as simple as that. Find out what your common grammar errors are, work on them, fix them, and then you'll be able to get a higher score in grammar. Because I've dealt with thousands of students that have had very, very bad grammar. I've told them, for example, your biggest problem is articles. Every single sentence you write with an article in it is wrong. Go and look at the rules of articles, go and do practice tests with articles, practice exercises. You'll find all of those online for free. Work on that area and you're really going to improve your grammar. Okay, so thank you for your precious time. So I promised you that I'd show you the free course. So let me go to my desktop here. My website is simple. It's called IELTS Advantage. So if we go here and click here to join for free. So we have a free IELTS Writing Challenge, 5 days to band 7. So not guaranteeing that you'll get a band 7 after this, but we will show you exactly what to do in order to get a 7. So just click on this on the home page. It will give you a bit more information about the free course. It's 100% free. You don't have to pay for anything. So just put in your email address here, create a password, not your email password, just whatever password you will use. Click here, so let me make one up here. Let me see. Plus test. Oh, too short. Okay. Why is this so difficult? It's normally not this difficult. It's just I'm being stupid today. Okay, so if you enter that correctly, it'll take you into a complete free course. And there's a video of me. Then there are 5 videos that you can work on. You can do it over 5 days, or you can do it all on your own. Each video is like 30 to 45 minutes long. Let me see, or about 25, 30 minutes. Yeah, something like that. And you'll also be able to comment below. We ask you to add your work, so you'll be able to add your essays and whatnot. That's everything you need there. Okay, so hope that you find that useful. Let me know if you find it useful, or was anything missing, or anything you didn't like about it, or anything you did like about it. What was the most useful thing about it? Let me know in the comments below. And I also have about 10 minutes left, so if you have any questions, I will answer them for you. So I have my phone, so I'm not going to go through all of the old questions because I don't think Facebook allows me to do that on a live one. So let me ask. So the first question is from Ahmed: how to learn synonyms. Very good question. So if you go, so let me show you here again. I'll show you how to get the vocabulary ebook. So if you go to my website again, and you go to the bottom, and it says free IELTS vocabulary ebook. Just put in your email address there, and we will send you a vocabulary improvement plan, and I'll show you all about synonyms as well, Ahmed. So that's that one. Complicated to do all of this on my own. Alright, so any more questions? So if I don't understand your question, or it's just like a really, really long question, I'm going to skip it. Sorry about the ambulance going past. I just want to get as many questions done as possible, so just make them short and easy to understand. April, in agree or disagree questions. If I disagree, I should put 2 main points supporting my stand. The free course that I just showed you, April, deals just with agree or disagree questions. We take you through 5 lessons showing you exactly what to do. So go and join that course, and it'll answer your question and more. Can you check essays? So let me show you here. So if you go to my website, at the top of my website is Writing Correction Service, and it'll take you to that page, tell you all about the Writing Correction Service, and then you can join it. So the answer is yes, we do. If you join our VIP course, you get that for free. So consider joining the VIP course as well. If you want to join the VIP course, just join the free course first, to get an idea of my teaching style, to get something for free first, and then you can decide whether you want to join the VIP course. Best way to improve reading? Read. That's a really simple answer, and you might think I'm being, I'm being facetious or something. I'm not. Like, how to improve any skill? Do the skill. Like, reading is going to improve not only your reading skills, but it's also going to improve your vocabulary, your grammar, thinking of ideas, idea generation. Reading helps tremendously with absolutely everything. Also, if you want extra help, just go to IELTSadvantage.com/reading, and there's loads and loads of free resources there for you. And sorry, I can't pronounce your name because it's too complicated for me. Hi sir, can you please correct our essays? Yes, I can. I just showed you, but we have to charge you for that, because if we did it for free, then it would be terrible. It would be a terrible service, because we wouldn't be able to cope with all of the people who wanted us to do that, so we have to charge a small fee for that. But it's a very, very, very effective service. Basically what we do is we show you exactly where you are, and then show you exactly where you need to go. Hi, I've read all your tips for reading, but still can't achieve a high score. So do you think it is a matter of practice? Dima, absolutely. This is a really, really, really important point. It doesn't matter if you join the best IELTS course in the world. It doesn't matter if you have the best IELTS teacher in the world. You are not going to improve just by listening to that IELTS teacher. You are not going to improve just by watching the videos on the best IELTS course in the world. You have to take what you learn and actually implement it. Actually practice doing all of the things and applying it to real situations, real exams. Like with anything, like could Ronaldo tell you how to be the best footballer in the world by just sitting having a conversation with you? Absolutely not. You would have to go out on the field and practice for 20 years in order to get to anywhere close to that level. I'm not saying you have to practice for 20 years to get a good score in IELTS, but you see my point. When can we have discussion essay free training? Don't know. Whenever I have time to create it. It takes a very long time to create these things. How many new words should we study a day? Good question. Okay, so there's two ways you could think about this. You could think, like, my test is in a week and I must learn 100 new words a day. Learning 100 new words a day would be like if I went to the gym and tried to lift weights for 8 hours a day and trying to get, really, really big in 1 week. It just wouldn't happen. Your body just can't take that sort of work. Your body just can't take that sort of pressure. Similar to your brain cannot learn 100 words a day. Your brain can probably learn properly 10 to 20 words. There's much more to learning vocabulary than just reading the word and then translating it into your language, or like just learning the meaning. You have to learn pronunciation, you have to learn synonyms, you have to learn antonyms, you have to learn the meaning in all of the different contexts. You have to learn how to use it in a sentence, what grammar you would use, the word form, absolutely everything about that word. It is much better to do that than it is to learn a list of words. How many negative sentences? I don't know what you mean by negative sentences. How to improve reading? I've answered that as well. May Cynthia Hufana. I don't know what you mean. You keep asking the same question over and over and over again. I don't know what you mean. Try and shorten it and make it easy to understand. Innocent, I got band 7 in writing in my first IELTS exam. What is it that I should do to improve a band 7 to one of the higher bands? Innocent, to be honest, and I'm not saying this because I want you to be my student or anything like that. Basically, I'm full at the moment. I don't have a lot of time. But you should, in order to get band 8, band 9, I really, really think that you need a good IELTS teacher sitting beside you, looking at your essays and giving you coaching specific to you on that. I'm not saying that because, I'm trying to get you to join me or anything. In fact, I don't really have time at the moment. But you should try and find another, really good IELTS teacher to help you with that. I think learning at home by yourself can help you to a certain extent, but if you're aiming at band 8, band 9, I do think you need a bit of one-on-one help. Good question. Anisha, in order to get band 7, the essay should be completely free of grammar errors, or is it okay to have a few mistakes? It's fine to have a few mistakes to get a band 7. Even band 9 essays have a few very small slips when it comes to grammar. Band 8s have some grammar mistakes in them. I'm not saying that, don't worry about grammar mistakes. Eliminate as many grammar mistakes as possible. Follow the advice that I gave in that lesson. But yeah, band 7 essays are not perfect at all. They're compared to real academic essays, they're not very, very good, to be honest. But they, they're good enough. Should we state opinion in the introduction? Yes, you should. I can't find reading passages, although I read a lot. What would you advise me? I have no idea what that means. How can you not find anything to read when you have the internet? Like, we live in a time where we have instant access to billions of things to read. How would you not know where to find stuff to read? Does it matter if we write in cursive or print, or is it okay as long as we write clearly? Doesn't matter, just write clearly. Time management in reading. If that's a question, if you mean, can you help me with time management in reading, please? We did a live lesson on that last week. See below this video. Chris, in IELTS, do they use British English or American English? It doesn't matter, just be consistent. If you use American English, that's fine, but use American English. If you use British English, that's fine, but use that. Don't mix and match them up. How many essays should I write every day? That's kind of the wrong way to think about it. Just writing essays is not going to help you. Like, I've had students come to me that say, I've literally had students who have done 100 essays over like a month before they came to me, and they're like, I can't improve. There's no point. Like, imagine you're learning how to play basketball, but you've never seen basketball, you don't know anything about it. All you do is you just have a ball and a net, like, without anyone showing you. It wouldn't matter how much you practice, you wouldn't be very good at it. Just doing essay after essay after essay after essay is not really effective. It would be better if you did an essay, gave it to a good teacher, got them to say, right, this is correct, but this is wrong, change this. This is correct, oh, that's completely wrong, you need to change that. That's just a much better use of your time to do that. So do that. How many days will you take to check essays? Everything is returned in less than 24 hours. Do you have an essay writing service? Yes, we do. How to improve my speaking skills? So we have a lot of free resources, IELTS Advantage /Speaking. We also have a speaking mock tests that we do, and where IELTS experts, who are like ex-examiners, will do a speaking test with you, and then they'll tell you what's wrong, what's not wrong. We have that service, or just use all the free stuff on our website. Excuse me, I had my lunch before. My mum brought my lunch to I'm in my mid-30s, and my mum brings me my lunch. But I had it before this lesson, so that's why I'm being very rude. I've seen people scoring 6.5 max in writing section. Can I have a few samples of essays that can score 7, 7.5, 8 in the writing section? Yes, absolutely. Go to my website and you'll find lots and lots and lots of Band 9 essays. One thing that I'm going to be doing is I've been running the speaking or the writing correction service for years now, and I have thousands of of past writing submissions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask permission from the people who did those to publish them, like take the names off them and everything. So you can see like 6.5, 7, 7.5. Edur, how do I improve my speaking? I just answered that question. Can we use idioms in task 2? No, don't do that. Wakas, Chris, I missed your task 2 correction live lesson today in VIP group. Did you upload the video? I can't find it. I haven't done it yet. I'm doing the live correction later this afternoon in the VIP group, Waka, so have patience. I've been told to better use a general statement rather than a thesis statement in the introduction. What do you think? No, don't do that. How can we get a higher score in speaking task 3? I think you mean part 3. Sometimes we don't know the answer. How can we cover such kind of situation? So speaking part 3, if you're doing well, if the examiner thinks that you are a band 7, 8 or 9, one of the really high marks, they're going to ask you really, really difficult questions. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to stretch your language ability. They're going to try and really test you. So if you get a question that is like really, really difficult in part 3, you should be happy about that, because it means that the examiner thinks that you are good. Remember that the speaking test is not a knowledge test or an IQ test. It is not a who has the best ideas test. There's none of that. You get none of those scores. There's no scores for those things. It's pronunciation, fluency, grammar, vocabulary. So you don't even need to know anything about the topics. Just say whatever you know about that, and make an attempt at it. And part 3, my key piece of advice would be develop your answers in part 3. State the answer, explain why you think that, give examples, give personal stories, and then you can also give another idea and develop that idea, or you could show the other side, show an alternative view. I think you should be giving like at least 6, 7, 8 sentences for part 3. Okay, so we have 5 minutes left. So if I don't get to your question, very, very sorry. But only a certain amount I can do. IELTS general training and academic essays are different. Task 1 is different, task 2 is the same. What if I don't have any known evidence to support my stand? Should I invent or something? And you put repost. Like I didn't answer your question the first time. Yes, you can invent examples or whatever, but be very, very, very careful. Just because you can invent it doesn't mean that you can just make up anything. The examples should support your specific points, and they should be plausible. Don't just say like 98% of people do this. Like a study showed that 99% of people do this. Like that doesn't, for most situations, that doesn't really sound plausible. Dotanun, can you give us any tips for improving our pronunciation? Yeah, if you Google, like basically if you need any help with anything, just Google IELTS Advantage, that's my site, plus the thing that you want. So if you Google, let's show you exactly how to do this, because it's a really good tip. So just open up your browser and just put IELTS Advantage, and then the thing that you need help with. So none needs help with pronunciation. There you go, IELTS Pronunciation Guide, IELTS Advantage. So you just click that, and it will give you a full guide on pronunciation. Pretty easy, simple to do. So there you go. Help me to help you. Like help yourself. You don't need like for stuff like that. Just general questions, just general information. You don't need a teacher. You don't need to ask anyone any questions. Like everything is there for you. You only need a teacher to like identify your specific mistakes, like tell you exactly what is going on, and showing you how to improve. But for stuff like that, like Google. Can you please tell us more about the academic test? Google that. Like IELTS.org has all the information you need about that. Can I use I can't pronounce statistics. Can I use statistics as examples in task 2? Again, yes, but make sure that they are plausible. Like I had someone who said, like, passive smoking causes cancer, and they said 99% of people in the UK die from passive smoking. Like, really? Chris, why is it important to write examples in task 2? Because it says that in the marking criteria. It says that you need to fully develop and fully support your main ideas. And just 2, you're writing an academic essay. And in academic essays, what people do is they use examples, they use evidence to support their main points. That's just how you write an essay. Like, you can't say, like, I'm the best IELTS teacher in the world. You just can't say that. Like, you just can't say things and then not support them. Like, I could show evidence. I could like say I did this and I did that and I did this and I did that, and these are the reasons why I'm the best IELTS teacher in the world. But you can't just say that and like not support it with any evidence, like, because it just doesn't make any sense. Alright, so we have, let me do these, we only have a few minutes left, so let me do these as quickly as possible. Is it fine to use personalized examples? Google IELTS Advantage examples, and there's a full page on that. When do you frequently go live and at what time? In my VIP groups, pretty much every day, but you have to pay for those. These ones on my free site every Thursday normally. Can we upgrade from VIP to VVIP? Yep, you can do that. I'm sorting that out this week or next week. If you're a member of the VIP course and you want to upgrade, can you please share a Band 7 essay with us? Yeah, you'll find it on IELTSadvantage.com. Can I write 2 ideas in 1 paragraph? You can, but it's much better just to write 1 idea and fully develop that idea, because that is what a paragraph is. A paragraph is 1 main idea and a development of that idea. That's just much better. Could do that, but can we correct ourselves during speaking tests? You can, but don't do it all the time, because it'll affect your fluency. Could you advise writing task 1, please? Go to IELTSadvantage.com/writing task 1. Please, how can I join your $9 monthly program? IELTSadvantage.com, I keep saying this, so that's where everything is. And you'll see the Facebook group thing at the top. What's the cost of your VIP service? $500, not per month, just everything. Can we correct our sentence if we said it wrong? Yes, but don't do it all the time, like, because it's going to affect your fluency. How do I join your $9 group class? Go to IELTSadvantage.com. At the top you'll see Facebook group. Click on that, you can join that. How can I join your live Facebook lessons? I'm already a VIP member. Add yourself to the VIP Facebook group. It's a secret Facebook group, so email us. You should have done that already, and it's in the bonus material. It's in one of the bonus module, which says VIP Facebook group. Click on that and it'll show you exactly how to join. Should have done it already. Can you pay through debit card? Yep. Okay, so that's all the questions. Thank you to everybody who joined us, and let me know what you thought of that. We don't ask for any money or anything like that for these free lessons, and we try and make them as useful as possible. We don't ask for anything. All we ask for is you to share, like, comment, let us know what you think about it. Did you think it was good? Did you think we could improve anything? Yeah, we just always like to hear from you guys in the comments, and share with anybody that you think would find it useful. If any of your friends are doing the test soon, share it with them. And yeah, thank you very much to everybody. A couple of people are saying I missed it. The replay is put up immediately after, so you can watch the whole thing. That was 1 hour, so I'm going to go because my voice is about to go. So thank you very much.